Hi, and welcome to the March edition of Chamber Chat. We'll be joined today by 3 exciting guests, but here first with us is Robyn Shetterly. Robyn, hi, welcome to the show.
Thank you.
So you're with Nathan Moore Farmers Insurance?
Yes.
What is your position with them?
I am the account executive of personal lines, which basically means that I oversee our home and auto section of the agency, and I also oversee our staff members.
Okay. So how did you get involved in insurance? Is that something you've always been driven to, helping people, or did you just find your way?
I've always wanted to help people in whatever way that I can. And insurance is very interesting to me because I found a lot of people are not insured properly, or they're underinsured, and with having house fires and things, the terrible things that happen, anything that I can do to help a family during that time to ease their mind so that they don't have to worry about all of the other expenses that come along with obviously something traumatic like losing a house or a vehicle.
Absolutely. So they reach out to you and you're able to be that lifeline for them.
Yeah, I can take some of that burden off of them.
Absolutely. Well, I know that your company is actively involved in the community. I've seen several photos of that. What ways do you like to interact with and support the community?
One of the things that I'm actually doing right now, I do all of the marketing for our agency as well, and all of our outreach programs. And one of the ones that we're doing right now, which is huge and a very big deal to me, is we actually have been doing appreciation for what we call our affinity market. So our teachers, firefighters, police officers, doctors, nurses, anything along that line. We actually go to 5 different places every month, and we either donate supplies that they could use, or we just simply bring them lunch or dinner. So we actually just recently did Monmouth Elementary School, and we also have done the Polk County Fire District, and we also recently just did the Monmouth Police Department. So
Very cool.
we got some more scheduled, but yeah, so that's one of our big things that we're doing right now that we love to do. So.
No, that sounds fantastic, reaching out to the civil servants who...
Yep, just to say thank you for everything that they do in our community. So
That's great. So have you always, I know we spoke a little bit earlier about how you made it to Monmouth Independence. Have you always lived in Oregon?
Yep, born and raised in Oregon.
So what brought you to the Monmouth Independence area?
Well, I was born and raised in Salem, and then moved to Portland for most of my, I guess, late childhood, early adulthood, and came back to the Salem area about 2 years ago, and I just have always loved the small town feeling, and Monmouth, I mean, even more so than Salem. Compared to Portland, Salem has that small town feel, but Monmouth definitely has that close-knit small town feeling that I just love.
Right.
Love being a part of.
And we were talking a little bit about you actually chose, or the business was chosen to be in Monmouth, even though that's not necessarily where you were living at the time.
Yeah, we actually chose the business to be in Monmouth because we were just attracted to the small feeling of Monmouth, and we wanted to be somewhere where we were more close-knit, where we can get to know our clients on a more personal level instead of, we want to have faces to their names. We don't want them just to be names. We're very big on making sure that we recognize them and can greet them by name when they come in. And Monmouth has all of that, and that's our big thing. Is we want to be a part of a community and want them to recognize us also.
Right. Yeah. So often that I feel like that's the one of the biggest compliments I hear about Monmouth is just everyone seems to know each other.
Yep.
And everyone seems to, when you walk into your bank or a store, everyone's hi, first name basis and that kind of connection.
Yeah, and that's a big thing to us, so that we're not just their insurance agency. We're also kind of a friend when they need it also.
That's fantastic. So aside from the small town feel, is there anything else that really separates the Monmouth Independence area from Salem and Portland?
They just, all of the, I guess, family values that tend to get lost these days. Monmouth Independence just still, since they are such a close-knit community, they still have a lot of those values that just make it great. Everything's so family-oriented, and everybody's your neighbor. Doesn't matter how far apart you live.
Right.
If you're in Independence or if you're in Monmouth, everybody's a neighbor. And it's just that feeling that makes it a really nice place to be and be a part of.
I think so too. So you're a member of the Chamber of Commerce. What benefits, I know we offer several different things, but what value have you found in the Chamber?
Well, I definitely love getting together with other small business owners in the area, getting to form more of friendships with them and build relationships with them. And I love the events that the Chamber puts on that we can be a part of. The whole networking that comes along with the Chamber, being able to reach out to people on more of a personal level also.
Absolutely. Yeah, networking is always one of the most highly rated benefits and something that's necessary for a lot of small businesses.
You constantly learn new things from everybody, so that's nice.
Well, one of my favorite things about the area is all of our festivals that we have throughout the year, whether it's Western Days or the 4th of July, Celebration of Independence, or the Hops Fest. Is there any festival or annual event that we hold, the tree lighting, for example, that you really look forward to each year?
I've gone to almost all of them because every time there's an event, I am immediately wanting to go to it to see it. And there's not really one that I necessarily love the most or love more than the others. Each one is so unique in its own way. There's things that I love that's different about every single one of them. So I don't know if I could pick necessarily one that's my favorite because I love all of them.
That's
and
fair.
Each one has something different. None of them are the same.
Right.
There's always something different that you can see. So probably, I don't know, just all of them.
Okay, no, I'll accept that
Can't
answer.
pick one.
I'll accept that. So you're obviously busy with going to all these events and coordinating with your position and your outreach within the community. But we spoke a little bit about something that you might have an interest for during your free time. Would you like to share what that is?
Yes, I actually love to make truffles and homemade chocolates. So every holiday, I actually make our whole family their own individual little chocolate boxes because it's relaxing to me. So
I'm gonna get one of those this year, right?
Definitely.
Okay, just
I'll make a big one of those big 5-pound boxes.
Okay. So truffles are the balls,
Yeah.
right? So how does one make one of those? And what does that process look like?
So basically, I make them all by hand. So I melt the chocolate, and there's different molds that you can use, and I actually hand paint the chocolate into the mold. So if there's a specific design that I put on it, I paint it by hand, and then I make all of my own fillings from scratch. And so then I just fill it, and you have to refrigerate it, and that's how it hardens. And then I add the top layer, or I guess it would technically be the bottom layer, after that to kind of seal it off. But yeah, it's not too hard, and I love to bake and everything, so it can be a process at times, but
I feel like you're making it sound a little more simpler than it would be, but no, that sounds fantastic. Well, I enjoyed having you on the show, and thank you again for
definitely
for stepping on or
Thank
coming
you for
out.
letting me.
Yeah, absolutely. And then if you again, Nathan, Moore's Farmers Insurance, if anyone has auto or
Yeah,
personal-
we actually people are surprised with how much we insure. We don't do just auto and home. We do small business. We do commercial, farms. That's actually how farmers got started, was farms. We do even food carts. We do pretty much anything that you can imagine wanting insured. We insure it. So
Perfect. Well, certainly recommend everyone giving you a call, and if they have insurance needs, you're the one to help them out.
Yep, definitely.
So, all right. Well, Robyn, thank you again for
Thank
joining
you.
us, and we will be right back with our next guest. And welcome back to Chamber Chat. I'm here with Katheryn Duvall. Katheryn, welcome to the show.
Thank you. It's good to be here.
Yeah, glad to have you. So you are the STEM Scholars Center Director for Western Oregon University.
Yes.
I would love to know a little bit more about that program.
So it's a brand new program, and it's a state-funded program. It's based on Oregon State's program, which does the same thing, which theirs is funded by the National Science Foundation, and it's been around that program specifically has been around for a little over 2 decades, and Oregon State's been doing it for about 8 years. And we just started this year, and it's to get more minority participation in the STEM fields. Okay. So it's folks who are traditionally underrepresented in the STEM fields to increase retention and participation in those areas.
And for those who may not know what STEM stands for.
It's science, technology, engineering, and math.
Okay, so it's students enrolled in one of those, so biology or an engineering major.
Yes, so we have, on our campus, we have biology, chemistry, earth science, computer science, and math.
Okay. And so what programs or how do you support these students in these fields?
So we have a wonderful team of 5 faculty members from each of those disciplines, and we also have 7 student mentors who are graduating this year or next year in STEM degrees. And all of us together act as basically a safety net and a support system for those students, recognizing not only that STEM degrees are often more difficult and more time-consuming than others, but that our students come from backgrounds where they might not have ever been expected to go to college, and they might not have the tools that they need to get through college on their own. So we provide them with pretty much anything that they need from us, tutoring, advising, academic support. We also host workshops for them, and we do off-campus trips in order to get them more involved and engaged in the different STEM areas that they can be a part of. And we try and hook them up with research opportunities and internships at WU and in the surrounding community.
That's fantastic. So
Yeah.
I know you were speaking about just underrepresented students or minorities, and I believe you may have mentioned like first-generation college students.
Yes.
What would you say that some of their needs, how do they differ from the majority of the student population?
So what I find is that they don't have the expectations, really good or bad necessarily, about what it means to be a college student and how to get through. So they might come in and just think, a lot of our students come in with blinders on and just say, okay, I have to get through my classes and get all A's and then graduate and then find a job. And I have to go to them and say, okay, you need to think about an internship and doing research, doing extracurricular activities, getting your resume together, going to conferences, all of these things that really help them get the full experience of college and that help them get enough experience that they can get a good job after college.
That's fantastic. That's certainly the goal
Yeah,
for everyone involved.
Exactly.
So how did you come into this position? Has it always been a drive of yours to reach out and help maybe minorities or those who are underrepresented?
Yeah, I always wanted to do something helping the community or helping people. And I was most recently living in Bogota in South America, and I was working with students there teaching English who, a lot of them were really, they were taking English classes so that they could immigrate to another country. And just it's very hard to watch people work so hard for something that is so hard to achieve. And because of that, I came back to Oregon really looking for a job that I could help people achieve those goals, be someone who assists them in getting what they really want. So I had this Spanish language background, and I had that passion, so I was looking for something, and this job came up, and it seemed like a perfect fit.
No, it sounds like it. And so I know that you're involved in multiple aspects at the Western, and you may have an event coming up today even.
Yes.
Would you like to share a little bit about that?
Yes, so I also work on the Cesar Chavez Leadership Conference, which is hosted here at WU. And it's a Latino youth leadership conference for Latino high school students from Willamette Valley, North. We have some students who come in from the coast, and that's in the 27th year, and it's actually tomorrow. So it's a huge event, yeah. And we're starting setup for it today, and it's a huge event. We have 2,200 students and chaperones coming in from around the state, so
and
it's very big.
What does that event try to accomplish, or what actually kind of takes place at that?
So it just tries to give students, we give them, it's just one day, but they go and see a lot of different presenters and speakers who give them an idea of maybe what college is good for them, what they need to know about college, financial aid workshops, or things also, maybe activism, because it's related to Cesar Chavez. And the idea is just to give them an opportunity to see what they can do after high school and what leadership opportunities they have. And also, it's about pride, I think, as well. Pride in being Latino and everyone getting together and celebrating that.
Absolutely. And it sounds like a great chance for you to reach high school students before they even begin their college process, and it maybe helps starting to support them at that level.
Yeah.
And through the
Yes,
whole process.
absolutely. That's one of the goals as well.
No, that's fantastic. So a little bit on a more personal side, have you always lived in the Monmouth Independence area or in Oregon?
No, so I lived here when I was younger and then moved around a little bit and just recently moved back about a year and a half ago from South America, and I was really excited to come back. I have family here, and that was one of the big motivators for coming back, and also just I love this area.
Right. So I know, I believe we spoke yesterday about some of the attractions in Polk County and Monmouth and Independence. Are there any things that are specific to the community that you find that you really relate to and enjoy?
Yeah, I think I really like that the businesses are pretty local. I think that's something in Oregon in general that we do really, really well. So I enjoy that about this area. And being at a smaller campus in a smaller town, you get to know a lot more people than you would in a bigger area. And just the whole feeling, I think everyone tries to work together really well. And then there are a lot of events on campus as well, and festivals around here that are a lot of fun.
Right. Well,
Yeah.
speaking of festivals, I know the campus holds one of the community's favorites, the tree lighting annual celebration, but we also have a lot of celebrations throughout the year. Do you have a specific favorite?
So I have only been working here for about 6 months or so. So there's a lot that I still have to see, but I'm really looking forward to the Hop Festival in September. Yeah, because I like beer, if I can say that.
Yeah.
And
It's the Pacific Northwest. I think you're supposed to say that.
yeah,
so.
okay, exactly. So I'm looking forward to that one when it comes around again in September, and just going to see some of the vineyards maybe this summer, and I love to hike as well, so being able to be outside in that atmosphere, I'm really looking forward to it.
As soon as the blue skies return.
Yeah, exactly, someday.
Do you have a favorite hiking location?
No, in fact, I really like to go to different places. I try not to go to the same place too many times. I really like Basket Slough a lot. I was there last summer a couple times, and it's so peaceful. You know, it's not a really strenuous hike, but it's just really, really peaceful, and you get a great view of the whole valley. I also, just this past weekend, I went down to Alsea Falls, down by Monroe, and that's really incredible, and that's a little bit more strenuous, but you really feel like you're out in the middle of nowhere, which I love that feeling.
Yeah, being able to escape a little bit. And
exactly.
Yep, in nature. Well, let's say somebody wants to help with the STEM program. I know you said that there were internship opportunities, but how can citizens or businesses who want to pitch in and either just support or sponsor or donate to the program and help them that way, or if they just want to get involved in a more hands-on manner, how would they go about that?
So we are actually looking for people in the community to offer research or internship opportunities, and then our goal is to pay for the students to do that so that they can do that instead of maybe having a job during the summer or during the school year. So anyone who wanted to partner with the STEM Scholars Program and sponsor an intern, we really appreciate that. Also, just giving workshops on campus or hosting a trip to their organization or their office really helps our students be able to see what else is out there in the STEM fields. And then, of course, donations also go towards student supplies or funding for trips or for research opportunities.
Okay, absolutely. And do these businesses have to be specifically in the STEM field, or can the internships have to do with that field?
Yeah, it doesn't have to be a STEM-specific organization. For example, computer science is everywhere now. So if they wanted a computer science intern, even if it's not a STEM or a computer science or information systems business, then that would be fine, as long as the students get that experience that they're looking for.
Perfect. And how would they get in touch with you if they wanted to?
They can email me. My email is duvallk@woo.edu, or our website is woo.edu/STEM.
Okay. Well, I'm sure people will be familiar with that, and hopefully they'll check you out. And I certainly recommend that everyone get involved with this program and help support such an awesome cause. So, Katheryn, thank you so much.
Thank you. It's
for
a pleasure
joining
to
us
be here.
Thank you. And
Thank
we
you.
will be right back with our final guest. Hi, and welcome back to Chamber Chat. I'm here with Schwarzler, Kate, welcome to the show.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
I'm glad to. So you are the owner and founder of Indy Commons?
Yes, that's correct. Indy Commons is a shared workspace allowing for small business owners and entrepreneurs to have an affordable place to work in a professional setting. So we are set to open next week. I'm very excited about it. It seems like a long time coming, so I'm ready to open the doors.
I remember sitting down kind of in the early stages
Yeah.
and talking about this idea and the need for the community.
That's right.
And the shared workspace is a new type of business in this area.
Yes,
So
it is.
How did you come to that idea? How did it all kind of come together?
Yeah, I saw models, Portland, Denver, San Francisco, LA, a lot of big cities are supporting these co-working spaces. It's a great way to have affordable office space, very flexible for people, and I thought, how can that get applied to a small rural community? So I started looking into some different models around the country that were in, say, communities under 10,000 people in size, and saw some just great success stories, and so I just decided to go for it.
Absolutely. So can you give us a little more detail on what Indy Commons may look like if I was a business owner who wanted to?
Yeah, absolutely. So it essentially offers 4 different ways for people to utilize this space. Actually, probably 5. But you can come in and just use it for the day. So if you're traveling or just need a place to meet with a client for the day, you can get a day pass. I'm also offering membership packages so people can have a dedicated desk space. So it's theirs, they can leave their computer there. You have lockable file cabinet, so you can leave things behind if you want to. You'll have access to internet. All your overhead costs are rolled into one membership. And then again, access to conference rooms and workspace, group workspace. And then also hoping to host events there.
That would be absolutely fantastic. And I
Yeah.
think workshops or how-tos or kind of
Yes.
seminars for small businesses that may be in the works in the future as well.
Absolutely. I think the programming of the space is really important to the success of how it works, and also the kind of the vision behind Indy Commons is really how do you create a community, a space for small business owners to come and help problem solve and have access to things that kind of fall under the Business 101 umbrella. You know, how do I do my taxes? How do I get a website up? How do I you fill in the blank. There's so many different ways that you can utilize that.
Right. Well, and certainly and I'm sure you're aware of this, but as a new business owner, there are so many hurdles you have to overcome
Yes.
before those doors ever open.
Yes.
Indy Commons sounds like a great way to maybe, just avoid a lot of those potential
Yeah.
pitfalls, but also a great way for a business to, save on all of the high costs and kind of start.
Absolutely. Yeah, it's really looking at how can we help each other in the community. And so it's daunting to be a small business owner and you're starting up and, you've got to think about your legal structure, you've got to think about taxes and accounting, and it's how do you take some of the fear and the risk out of that for people and really help them launch their business and understand that there's a community of people there that are ready and willing to help.
Right. But Indy Commons is not only for, short-term
Right.
until they move up, if you will. A lot
Right.
of businesses, especially nowadays, seem like they can work from home and be as successful as
Absolutely.
others. So that may be a more permanent solution for a lot of people
Yes.
as well.
Yeah, and trying to keep it flexible for people, and so that's why the membership model is great, because you're not locked into a 3-year lease, a 2-year lease. You can try it out for a month, see how you like it. Try to do a flexible option and then move up to maybe a bigger desk space. So a lot of different ways to utilize that space and to really help their business grow.
I'm sure business owners will appreciate that
Yeah.
type of
I hope so.
flexibility. Yeah, absolutely. So when you were looking at a location, what made you decide Monmouth and Independence? Have you always lived here?
No, I haven't. I actually moved back to Independence. I shouldn't say back to Independence, back to Oregon in June of this year. My parents live here, and so I thought this will be a landing spot for a little bit. I fully anticipated I'd probably go work up in Portland or somewhere else, and got here and just fell back in love with rural Oregon, and so decided to stay.
Right. Monmouth and Independence has a way of, and Polk County in general,
Yes.
just of being
Yeah.
sticky. You
Yes,
think you're going to
yeah.
just visit and leave, but you
Yeah.
end up absolutely kind of
Yeah.
sticking around and falling in love with it.
I think so. I think it's just there's this feeling that this area is really on the brink of something really exciting, and just this intersection of how the wineries and the ag and tech and everything is really starting to come together, and it just feels like a great time to be here and an exciting time to get involved in the community.
Absolutely. Well, is there anything specific about the community that you are really passionate about or that you appreciate?
Yeah, I think, like I said, I grew up on a ranch in rural Oregon, and so just that aspect of being in a small community, being surrounded by the agriculture and natural resources is something that really resonates with me.
Absolutely. Well, I think that it is interesting. You're a member of the Chamber of Commerce,
Yes.
and certainly I feel like our business is aligned in a lot of ways.
Yeah.
With goals. You joined the chamber months before actually your business
Right.
opened. So obviously you saw value in that. What benefits do you think the chamber has provided you or will be able to in the future?
Yeah, that's a great question. I think it's really the connection to other businesses. It's just a huge launching point just to have access to people who are either operating in that same space that I am or could potentially help. I'm really big on building partnerships, and so not recreating the wheel, but how can people help each other? So, the Chamber, I think, is a great partner with that, just in terms of what the goals are for Indy Commons and being able to reach out to other businesses.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Well, on all the amount of free time that I know small business owners have, we spoke a little bit about some hobbies
Yes.
that you may have that may be interesting or surprising to some. Would you like to share?
Yeah, absolutely. I think like a lot of people in this area, just access to the outdoors is fantastic. So hiking, backpacking are things that I really enjoy doing. I also have a dirt bike, so I do like getting out there and exploring the trails. And I'd say the biggest thing that I miss from moving from Colorado is hockey. So I'll be a big proponent of trying to get a hockey rink in the area.
We spoke about getting an
Yes.
NHL team and located in
Absolutely.
Independence or Monmouth
Absolutely.
next year. Coming soon.
That's a great goal for us to have.
It is.
Yeah.
So that was kind of surprising and really interesting to hear. How did you kind of get involved with hockey? Was that a thing you've done since a child? And
No, it's actually, I moved to Colorado in 2005, and the fall of 2005, right at the start of hockey season apparently, and just got connected up with the rec league, and people were they needed people who knew how to skate, and I said, well, I know how to skate, but I don't know how to play hockey, and that was good enough. They're like, that's all right, we'll teach you how. So I just decided to try it and fell in love with it.
And that sounds perfect. And that's something that I think a lot of entrepreneurs that is a spirit.
Yes.
That is
Yes.
seems common between a lot of people, the willingness to say, I have no idea what I'm doing, but I'm going to jump into it, give it a mile, and we'll see.
Yeah, absolutely. Another project that I'm involved in, I'm a co-founder in a startup, and it's been fascinating just learning about that whole environment, and it's all about taking risk and moving quickly and somehow getting comfortable with that. And it's been fantastic. I've learned a lot.
Well, it definitely seems that way, and I know that in your spare time, you're now also funding other companies. So you've obviously dealt with a lot of the initial challenges that small business owners have to overcome.
Yes.
Would you have any advice? Let's say someone out there is watching, has an idea for a small business. First step that they should take, or a couple first steps. What would that kind of look like?
That is a great question. I would say definitely research local partnerships that are already available to you. So don't feel like you have to be in a bubble. There's plenty of resources out there. Merit is a great program. The SBA, the Small Business Association, Chemeketa Community College has some great programs. So there's a lot of people that are there and wanting to help. There's a framework that's already in place, and get connected up with those resources.
It sounds like just reach out.
Absolutely. On the website, if you do a quick search for that, they'll pop up, and then also Indy Commons will also be listing places that people can go for these resources.
Absolutely, that would be fantastic, and I'm very excited to have you in the community, and no doubt
Yeah.
you'll be an asset to all the businesses, and I wish you the best of success. So
Thank you.
Monday, you will be open. What time, and how can
Yes.
people, where are you located?
I'm now going to move it to Tuesday, based on, I think, the plumbing schedule. So Tuesday, we'll be open at 8 o'clock in the morning, and just the coffee pot will be on, and welcoming people in to come and take a tour.
Well, I'll absolutely be one of the first at the door, so I look
Great.
forward to taking a tour, and
All right. Thank you so much.
Yeah, enjoyed
Yes.
having you. And that should do it for this month's edition of Chamber Chat. Thank you so much for tuning in and watching, and we hope that you join us next month as we interview and talk with 3 additional guests from our community. If you would like to be one of those, feel free to reach out to us by visiting our website at micc-or.org or via email at micc@minetfiber.com. And as always, when you're walking around town in Monmouth and Independence, Be sure to shop local and keep it local.